going to speak about obviously a new topic. This topic is called Satan's conversation with God. Um, Obviously, there's been a lot of times in the Bible that Satan's had interaction or conversation with God, and it could be through battle, it could be through just normal talking to God as well. And also with Jesus as well, which is God in human form. There are parts in the Bible where Satan tries to tempt Jesus as well. So Satan never gives up. And I feel like if Satan doesn't give up, we shouldn't give up as well, because Satan's unrighteous and he's leading through, for example, with unrighteousness. So if Satan just never gives up and is always consistent day and night, trying to see what souls he can catch, I feel like we should also do the same, but do the same in a righteous way, because we have to be above Satan, and God is above Satan. The way Satan is right, the way Satan is consistent is the same way God is consistent, but God's more consistent than Satan, because the only reason why Satan is alive is because of God, and the only reason why Satan can do everything he's doing now, or the unrighteousness, is because of God. So God gives him permission to do these things, but he's not. But God's not doing it for a reason to make us feel like we need to suffer. God is doing it so that we can learn a lesson. Without good, there will never be bad. Without up, there will never be down. So there's always an opposite for something. So yeah. So the conversation, the title here is Satan's conversation with God, and I'm actually the real topic is actually going to be in Job, chapter 2, when Satan actually comes to heaven and speaks to God. And what we want to know is Satan's conversation with God. Satan appealed to God about Job. So what we want to know is, does Job lose his faith in God? Does God allow Satan to take Job's wealth? If God does, why does he allow it? That's what we should know. What does God want Job to learn? Or what does God want us to learn? Because Job is just a character in the Bible, but Job is a simplification as us. Job is a human as well. So whatever Job went through is the same thing we can go through. Because the Bible is just example. These stories in the Bible are just examples, so we can actually see how life really is, how life really works. And so yeah, so what does God want Job to learn, and what does God want us to learn as well, like I said. So before we actually go to that, Job's second, chapter 2, Job chapter 2, sorry. I want to touch on Revelations 12, 7 to 10. And this is before Genesis, because this is Revelation. So Revelation can talk about the future, and Revelation can also talk about the past. But the way Revelation speaks about it speaks about it very, very more spiritually. So, and this is before Genesis, before the beginning, the war in heaven. This is Revelation 12. So it says here, there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels. And the dragon lost the battle, and he and his angels were forced out of heaven. This is great. This great dragon, the ancient serpent, called the devil. So it shows here that before Genesis, so before God even created everything, the devil was already in creation. So the devil was living in heaven. Satan was living in heaven with the angels. So Satan was a part of the angels. So it said that there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels. So the righteous angels were fighting with the dragon. So the dragon is depicted as Satan. That's the dragon. So the dragons are normally a mythical creature. We've never seen a dragon before, but it just shows how powerful Satan really was. So it says the dragon lost the battle though, because there's no way unrighteousness can abide in heaven. It's impossible. And he and his angels were forced out of heaven. So that means the angels are just soldiers of God. So they casted Satan out of heaven because of what he has done. This great dragon and the ancient serpent called the devil. So why does it say the ancient serpent? Because the devil has the Bible depicts the devil in different names. So once is the dragon when it's in heaven, and another time is the ancient serpent. So the only time was the serpent was when we go. Let me just go back to Genesis. Genesis 3. Sorry, yeah, Genesis 3, verse 4. It says, "So the Lord said to the serpent, Cursed are you above all the livestock and all the wild animals." So obviously this is when the serpent deceived Eve to eat the apple. So God wanted to curse the serpent, and the reason why God cursed the serpent is because of what he done. So the serpent was actually he actually had legs to walk, but when God cursed the devil, he can only crawl. That's why snakes only crawl. But the serpent, but that serpent was a dragon in heaven, though. That's the thing. So that dragon, that great dragon that was in heaven, when he got cursed down, he turned to a serpent. So basically, God took all his powers from the devil. God took away all the powers from the devil. And continue from that. So this great dragon, the ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, the deceiving the whole world, has been thrown down to earth with all these angels. So that's the first part. I just wanted to speak about the revelation, just to show the start of the devil, to show how the devil really is, how the devil really was before he actually came down to earth and started causing mischief in, around, everywhere. So now that we know how the devil actually was, which he was in heaven first, and now he got casted down to earth. Now I can go to the main topic, which is Job 2. And it says here, on another day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them to present himself before him. So the angels, so it's like Satan was still trying to get into heaven. It says the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan was still trying to get into heaven. So that means Satan still wanted to cause mischief. Like, Satan is very, very stubborn. So he still wanted to cause mischief. And it says here, and the Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" So just imagine you not wanting someone in your house because they've done something bad in your house. This is your home. You don't want nothing to disturb you. You don't want no bad people in your house, and you let someone live in your house, and they wasn't doing the right things in your house. So you told them to leave. If you're not abiding by my rules, leave. And that's exactly what God did to Satan, because Satan wasn't abiding by God's rules, so he told him to leave. And just imagine that person knocking on the door again, and you're thinking, why is this? I told this guy to leave. Why is he still trying to come here? just a small example, but that's exactly what happened. It says, the Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" And Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming through earth, going back and forth in it." So, meaning Satan came from earth back in heaven. So it's like Satan was a type of person that's always trying to come back to God and telling God what he's been doing. He's the type of person to destroy someone's life and then go back to God and boast in God's face that look at the people that you made. I'm ruling them now. That's how Satan is. So he said, from roaming through the earth and going back and forth in it, he's roaming around the earth. He's destroying people's lives. He's making people sin. And he's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? So why do you think God said that? Have you considered my servant Job? We'll see here. There is no one like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. So this means that Job was a righteous man. Job was the type of man to always obey God. He was leading through righteousness and God was blessing him because of that. But God said, have you considered my servant Job? So this shows that God will always try to make the people that actually serve him test. He's trying to test people that actually serve him. If you're really into Christ, if you're close to God, that doesn't mean you won't get tested. That means you get tested the more. Because your faith can't just lie in a certain position. Your faith needs to be tested all the time. And this is what we're seeing through Job. Because Job was righteous to God. He was righteous to God. But God wanted to test his faith in him. But because Job's faith was so strong, Satan didn't even bother to test Job. Satan didn't bother because he says here that he was roaming around the world, causing mischief. But that one person that was close to God, that was Job, he never tested him. So God actually told him, have you considered my servant Job? There is no one like him, God said. He is blameless, upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil, and he still maintains his integrity. Though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason. And then Satan said, skin for skin. A man will give all he has for his own life. But stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face. Wow. So it's like Satan was trying to tempt God. You know, Satan, he loves tempting. So he's trying to tempt God. That please give me permission. Give me permission to disturb this servant of yours. That's what Satan was trying to say to God. Because the only way Satan can tempt a righteous person is if God gives Satan the permission to do so. If that's the only way. Because once you're close to God and you're close to yourself, you can always shun evil anyway, because you notice it straight away. You can always shun it. But Satan knows that. He knows that the only way he can get through to you, if you're righteous in God, if you love God, if you pray, if you fast, if you do everything right, because righteous just means right. As I always have to say in every single video, righteousness just means you're right. You do everything right. That's what Jesus does. That's what Jesus did and still does in us. If you're righteous, it just means that you're right. Everything you do is right. Everything you see is right. So everything that you do is right. If you see something that is wrong, you know that is wrong and you know not to go there. So let me go back. It says skin for skin, Satan replied. A man will give all he has for his own life, but stretch out his hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face. And then the Lord said to Satan, very well, then he is in your hands, but you must spare his life. I like that part when God spares his life. It just shows the love that God has for us. Especially if you're righteous to him, if you're close to him. He will always have love for you. Even though he sends Satan to cause mischief in your life and see how you respond to it, he will always do things that won't take you out straight away, because he knows you don't deserve it. But God still knows you need to be tested, because if you're not tested, how will God know that you're really for him? So, and he said, Lord said to Satan, very well, then he is in your hands. So that means God just said, okay, cool, go. Let's see what you can do, and let's see how he will respond. And that's what happens with our lives as well. Once you're in Christ, you, like I said, you always get tested over and over again. It's impossible, especially living in this day and age where like everything is so righteous. There's bad things. It moves more than good things. Someone money all the time, and then the one time you don't give that person money, it's like they start being like, he's selfish, he's this, he's that. But they don't remember the times that you have been helping him out. It's the bad times that people remember. Also in the news, in media, is the when they say breaking news, they don't say breaking news for good things. They say breaking news for bad things. The good things are not really shown. It's all the negative that's shown. Why? Because this is a negative world. Everything negative is breaking news. Breaking news. This is why I don't trust the media, because the media is run by the devil. So it says here, and so Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and afflicted Job with painful sores from his sole of his feet to the top of his head. Wow. Then Job to a piece of broken pottery and scrapped himself with it, and he sat among the ashes. And his wife said, are you still holding on to your integrity? Curse God and die. So that's what happened with us. Like with Job, now that God gave Satan the permission to actually afflict Job with this sickness, with all these painful sores, like I said in the Bible, the devil will enter people again to make Job have negative thoughts. For example, if you're really into Christ and you're like I said, you're righteous, and you study the Bible, you study the Quran, or you're just a very holy person, and then something bad happens to you, and other people, or say you get fired from your job or something, and other people see it, people be like, is this your God you're serving? Is this your God? You serve God every single day, but yet look at what you're going through. And then when they say that to you, you start thinking, wow, I serve God every single day. I pray all the time. I fast. I'm righteous. I'm kind. And I'm still going through all of these things that I'm going through. I can't have peace. And then people start putting in your head like, this is the God you're serving. Are you sure you're serving the right God? And then it will tend to have you disbelieving in God. But it depends on your mind. If you're strong-willed in God, and you know that everything is a test, life is a test. Life is a test. So everything you go through just means that you are getting tested. Just know that. If your faith is strong in God, just know that if you're going through bad things, if you're going through hard times, it will only last for a moment. Because that bad thing is what is actually going to make you stronger. It's actually what's going to make your faith stronger in God. So every single bad thing I go through, every single negative thing I go through, I just know that it was meant to be. It was meant to happen. Because I've got something that is laid ahead of me. That what I'm going through now is going to prepare me to what is laid ahead of me. So you need to